This time on Engine Masters, it is a bloodbath showdown of a 408 Mopar versus a 408 Ford, and there's going to be one winner and a bunch of crybabies. This time on Engine Masters, presented by AMSOIL and supported by Mr. Gasket and Earl's Plumbing, we've got a head-to-head shootout of a 408 Mopar and a 408 Ford. We've gone to great lengths to build these things as close to identical as we possibly can. The Mopar is a Blueprint Engines crate motor. It is what it is. Then we've taken a Blueprint Engines short block for the Ford 408 and we've used it and matched the specs of the Mopar, and here's what those are. Up top, Holley 850 Ultra XP double pumpers. Both of these things are running MSD ignition. Both of them have Edelbrock Performer RPM intake manifolds. We also went to Edelbrock for the cylinder heads. Now for the Mopar, Edelbrock only makes one casting for the small block head. It's got a 170cc inlet runner. For the Ford, they make a whole bunch of stuff. The one we've chosen has a 190cc inlet runner. The reason for that is, it's the same price to get this head as it is the smaller one, so nobody in their right mind for a 408 cubic inch engine would pick the smaller head. We've got the same camshaft in both of these engines. It's a Comp Cams hydraulic flat tappet. They're both 241, 247 at 50 thousandths tappet lift. The compression ratio is very similar, 9.6 and 9.8 to 1, but they share the same bore and stroke. 4.04 inches on the bore, 4 inches on the stroke. Do the math, that's actually 410 cubic inches, although generically, everybody calls these 408s, and everybody wants to know which one makes more power, the Ford or the Mopar. We're gonna get to that now, starting with the Mopar. The other thing that we need to keep identical between these two engines is the oil, because believe it or not, in all of our testing, we do see a variance in horsepower depending on the brand and weight of oil that we're using. So of course, we're gonna be using AMSOIL in both these engines. This is a Dominator Racing 1030. And the thing that guys were telling us is that even in a range of, let's say, SAE 30 weight oil, there could be a high end or a low end, and the thinner stuff is gonna make more power, the thicker stuff is gonna make less power, so using the exact same oil in both engines eliminates that variable. Another thing that we see all the time is that oil temperature has a big effect on performance. We usually make one dyno run, watch the coolant temperature, and then on the second run it'll make more power because the oil is up to temperature. And so it's more important than you might think to make sure that the oils are poured all over your valve cover and your header, because what you really need is for this to smoke right when you fire it up. That's the impressive part. Yeah, that'll be great. How come we think the Mopar's the underdog? Do you?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. We don't even need to dyno it if Dulcich thinks that it's gonna lose.
No, he probably has a little more experience with these things than we do. But,
Yeah.
I think it'll be good though.
I think it's a good street combo, but if you're looking for max power, 170cc head on 408 cubes is not enough.
Here's the only hope that I hold is Blueprint has literally never failed us on a horsepower claim. It's always been what their claim is or more. And so this is going to make at least the 445 that they advertised it at.
441 or something.
Okay, and this is a better intake manifold and carburetor than they test with. So that's why I think it stands hope of making 450.
Do we have better headers than they used? I wonder if they use dyno headers and we have chassis headers.
Don't know.
Well, we have to see what it makes, and then we'll start making excuses.
Yeah.
See, here's the secret that you don't know. Brule already has the answer. He tuned this thing to perfection this morning, whereas we have no clue.
Right, and he's not telling us.
As far as this motor goes.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, he hasn't told us what's up, but he knows. Now you're gonna prove it to the world. Fire it up. That's really good.
400 pound-feet at 2,500 RPM.
Yeah, that's solid. In our final test, the 408 Mopar makes 489 pound-feet of torque at 4,000 RPM, and over here we're looking at 438 horsepower at 5,500 RPM.
You know, I think we kind of get wrapped up in that peak number. And when are we really using the peak number in a street car?
All the time.
That wide open throttle. How does the curve look?
400 pound-feet. I mean, this is just kind of the thing being that low of engine speed and taking off, but at least it's flat. There's no dip. It holds on to that 400 pound-feet. And then when it gets a little bit of engine speed, boy, it gets happy in a hurry.
It has a big duration cam in it. It probably is just beginning to catch up here at 3,000 on the cam, as they say. That's where the VTEC kicked in. But still, 400 pound-feet at 2,500, that's a tire-burning machine.
Yeah, and you could hear it too when it on the cam. It just kind of exploded on the dyno, I thought.
No, you could, there was definitely a change in engine tone, but no, it's good. I mean, I like it.
So now, really, the Ford argument is going to come down to our guess. I'm still convinced it's going to make more horsepower than this.
I don't think there's any question about that.
Is it going to make the torque curve? Because it's got the bigger head and this has got the smaller head. Yeah. The theory might kick in that smaller head makes more torque.
I don't know that on the dyno we would see that because we're looking at wide open throttle.
Right.
Yeah. The smaller head might be a little better at part throttle and the bigger head might be a little softer potentially, but on the dyno at wide open throttle, I don't know that we'll see that. But I think that this thing really is really good as far as torque. I mean, it's doing everything it's supposed to do. Like I was saying, it makes 1.2 pound-feet per cubic inch with a flat tappet hydraulic camshaft. I think that's everything it's supposed to do.
I think the Ford's going to be just as good down at the very bottom, and then it's just going to cripple this thing at the top.
Only one way to find that out.
Yeah, let's bolt it up and see.
Go swap them.
Yeah.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, handle that.
Yes, please. I'll be on the phone later.
Mopar guys, are you crying right now, or are you standing firm in your belief in Ma Mopar? That engine, if you'll remember, was a Blueprint Engines long block. You can buy that thing as is from Summit for $52.95 with a warranty. This thing is a Blueprint short block, and we've added all the rest of the components to match the Mopar. This is gonna be super interesting. The last time we built two nearly identical engines of different brands, the dyno curves almost exactly laid over each other. This time I'm thinking, not so much. I think that cylinder head's probably gonna outrun the Mopar. And I'm a Mopar guy. I would kind of like that one to win, but let's go find out for real.
You know, I think we're being a little too hard on the Mopar.
Really? I think you are.
Yeah.
I think I'm driving that.
Yeah.
I've been in a bad mood about it, but you know what the other thing I have to say about it is we complain about how it won't RPM, but aside from Dulcich, who needs to rev to 7,000 RPM when you can make the power at 55?
Yeah, they seem to live a little longer at 5,500 or 6 than they do at 7 or 7.
Well, and they drive better on the street, in truth. Unless you're Dulcich.
I don't know if I buy that. Oh, what am I doing? Took the plug out and I forgot the drain pan.
Dulcich took the water plug out with no bucket.
As much as I like the Mopar small block, the Ford's gonna win this one, I think.
We need Ford headers. That's another thing, by the way. We ran 1 3/4 inch header tubes on both of these engines. So that was the same as well.
And they both have stamped steel chrome valve covers.
Ooh, Mr. Gasket.
Really?
Yeah, that's our sponsor right there, dude.
They're really nice. But they're pretty nice.
What are the odds we got the firing order correct?
100%.
Yeah?
I'm confident.
Because we walked away and let Brule do it?
That's gonna be great when it goes kapoom, pow, piff. Looks like a Batman comic book with all the expressions.
Well, we're gonna stand around and wait for Dulcich for about another 10 minutes and then we're ready to fire this thing up.
I'm doing artwork here.
Artwork? It's my art project.
Okay, you can do art while we're eating lunch and then we'll fire this thing.
I didn't know lunch was here. I'm done with my art.
Okay, Ford 408.
It's pretty good.
Where was your Mopar on that one, Dulcich?
It wasn't mine, that's actually your Mopar.
I think it did exactly what we thought it was going to do.
I think it did. Yep. We're going to look at a comparison now between the Mopar and the Ford. And interesting. What we're looking at here is the black line is the Ford and the red line is the Mopar. The Mopar's got an advantage down here below 3,500. Kind of interesting that they both follow that same shape there also. But it diverges below 4,500, about 4,300. And up here, the Ford is destroying the Mopar. Is your theory here, it's the same here, but this is making more torque on the Mopar because of a smaller cylinder head, and this is making more horsepower than the Mopar.
That's exactly
because of the bigger cylinder head.
It's not intake manifold, it's not camshaft.
We looked at the average of all the data points between 2,500 RPM and 6,000. If you add up all of those power numbers and divide by the number of data points, you get the whole area under the curve. And when you do that, the difference between these two engines is 9 horsepower and 9 pound-feet. But you're saying that that's actually pretty big?
Well, I mean, 9 on an average over the whole curve, that's pretty significant.
Yeah, and if you were looking at running it at the drag strip from 45 to 6, big difference.
That's a big difference.
But below that, no difference.
No deal.
The Mopar's pretty good, but the Ford's better.
How would that look in the Cougar?
I think it might be too tall. I'll stick with the 363, but that would be a sweet engine in any street performance car.
That in the Cougar versus the Mopar in the Challenger. That would be fun.
Whoa,
Whoa.
whoa, I'm liking that. You want to do that?
Sure. That'll happen like in, what, a week?
Oh.
Say it out loud, Dulcich.
The Ford's better!
I love it.
All of a sudden, you're over there cuddling up to that Ford.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I see you've taken to the Mopar, so, you know.
You pick the winner. Give me a minute. Soapbox, okay?
Yeah.
No one is going to change their brand allegiance based on watching a dyno video, right?
No.
So Ford guys are Ford guys, Mopar guys are Mopar guys. This might as well be a Republican, that might as well be a Democrat, right?
Right.
So this is really only going to divide people even worse.
Yeah.
So what do you anticipate that the arguments are going to be?
This had a better head, so it wasn't fair.
Right, we loaded that one.
Yeah.
So here's my reasoning on that. Once again, this is the only cylinder head in the aftermarket that you bolt right up to an LA motor that takes the stock valve train, stock exhaust, stock intake manifold.
Yeah, I call that a replacement style head.
Right.
Right.
So the Ford has the same thing, but it's bigger. The thing is, because the Ford is more popular in the aftermarket, there are a ton more cylinder head options for this thing that do bolt right up.
Right.
So the Ford won because of a better cylinder head. My argument is that's because that's what's available in the marketplace and that's not what's available here. Of course you can make this make more power than that. You could, just by porting these, right?
Sure. Make that a lot bigger, but really we're dealing with what's out there, and that's what anybody's going to run into, just like we did.
But what it turned out to be interesting is the way the curves laid over each other, we absolutely predicted. I mean, we almost didn't even need to run the dyno. We knew what was going to happen, right?
No, we were within 5 horsepower on each motor as far as peak.
But
Ford won, hands down, there's no argument for me.
in the end, I think all we really did is start an even bigger fight, which is kind of what we do on Engine Masters. We're presented by AMSOIL, and we have support from Mr. Gasket and Earl's Plumbing. We appreciate those guys. Make sure to check us out every single month here and on MotorTrendOnDemand.com.
So what qualifies someone as a Mopar guy? Is that like the whole car thing, or engine only, or?
No, you
I've always looked at Mopar guys as more of a cult.
Yeah, you gotta be a Mopar or no car guy.
Okay.
That's the thing.
And the blue oval guys are just basically cigar smoking rednecks?
No, I don't know.
Would I be a Mopar guy?
Pretty much, yeah.
Really, how come?
There's 30 of them in your backyard.
Well, besides that.
Besides that.
No, but I mean, I've got Chevys and Fords too. It's in the cam section.
Pardon me? You mean there's a cam section in the Comp Cam's catalog?
I was just trying to confuse you, Steve-O.
Oh, trust me, I didn't need help.
No.